All right, everyone, well, welcome back. And we are very luckily joined this morning by the juggernaut themselves, Jacinta Austin. So, Jacinta, thank you very much for joining us today. Look, I just want to get straight into it. So, my first question for you is, martial arts and, specifically MMA, it's such a journey of highs and lows, periods of rapid progression, then, periods of maybe a bit of stagnation. How do you mentally stay the course, when you are maybe feeling stagnant in your progression or, maybe you aren't hitting the sort of goals that you expect of yourself in training?
I think because I'm so young in my MMA career, I haven't actually experienced a point of feeling stagnant yet. There's so much for me to learn day in, day out. So I haven't felt that yet, but definitely in fight camp, sometimes I feel like all the work I've done isn't showing. It's not coming through. And I know that it's just a matter of turning up each day, getting through that session. Sometimes it doesn't go exactly how you want, but you just got to call it, pack it a day, and come back the next day and just try and be better. It's definitely what I've learned this camp.
Yep, 100%. Jacinta, first of all, before my first question, I like your shirt, the old Thug Row shirt. Very nice.
Yeah, she's a big inspiration for me for this fight, so it's pretty fitting.
Awesome. Well, look, I'll get straight to my first question, and that was obviously tomorrow is a landmark event for Australian mixed martial arts. Obviously, the return of the UFC to Perth, and obviously, I know you got your fight in 2 weeks' time on February 25th. But is there like a little bit of extra motivation heading into this fight, knowing that you're potentially a few fights away from making a run at the UFC, at least being considered, and potentially being on the next, UFC card that does, eventually come to Australia?
Definitely. Last year when this date was announced for February by the UFC, I didn't think that I would be on it, but so many people got behind me and supporting me to try and get on it that I started to actually think about it realistically, like as and something that would happen in the near future. And the feedback I got at that time was that I need to get another win, another 1 or 2 wins. So yeah, I'm more motivated than ever. The UFC is literally next door to me. It's right there. I've just got to get through this next win and we're good.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. So, Justin, there's something I wanted to ask you is that, for martial artists and fighters, it's so important to, have a team and coaches that you connect with and that work really well for you. So I wanted to know that, what makes your gym and the coaches that you work with sort of the perfect, coaches for you? Is it how they just connect with you in your training? Is it how they break down techniques? What makes your gym and coaches the perfect team for you?
I think the biggest thing is, obviously, I'm not out of a big team. I'm not out of a very well-known team in Australia. I think the biggest thing is we're a tiny little gym out in Hornsby in the middle of nowhere. We're very far away from all the big teams everyone would know in Australia. And I guess me and my coach as well, we've kind of got this like little chip on our shoulders that we want to show people what we can do. We want to show people that you don't need to go and join these massive teams, people who have already developed athletes. Like, we're just as good, if not better, than these other guys. As far as gelling, I think that my coach has one of, if not the most technical mind in the country. I've worked next to and alongside of a lot of other coaches, and I really think I've got something special in my corner, especially when you combine the 3 coaches I've got there together. And I think that we've shown that, and we're gonna show that in a couple of weeks again.
Jacinta, look, I know UAE Warriors is the promotion that you're fighting on in 2 weeks' time. Obviously, a pretty big stadium, Etihad Stadium. That's a big deal for yourself. And obviously, I want to know, a lot of fighters that go overseas, maybe for the first time or fighting overseas for the first time. We spoke to a local fighter here, Sonny Kirasomi, who's fighting in the IMMAF championships in Serbia. And I asked him the same question, which is, are you going to be able to experience Dubai and get to enjoy the country as well, or is it mainly just a business trip, going there, getting the fight done, winning your fight, and coming home?
It's mainly a business trip. We are going to be there a week early because we need to acclimate, and also there's a few events that we're going to be a part of on fight week. But in saying that, we've had a little look around. We're booking some little touristy events for the few days that we have free. So yeah, a little bit of fun as well, and get out and see the city too.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. So, Jacinta, I wanted to know how much of a difference has working with one of, the best nutrition teams for combat sports in, the Fight Dietitian, how much of a difference has that made, in your ability to recover after training, in your ability to push harder in sessions?
I think it's been one of the most important factors. I mean, I used to train when I was back in my kickboxing days. Our sessions would only go for 1 to 2 hours because you're only really focusing on 1 or 2 different skills. But MMA sessions, sometimes we're in there for 3-4 hours. And not only do you need to like physically be able to hold that workload, but mentally as well. Like I need to be able to stay concentrated for long periods of time. There's just so much more involved in MMA between your striking and grappling. Not even to mention the weight cut. Like I used to fight at 57 kilos and now I'm consistently hitting 52 kilos and feeling better than ever. So I know I've got like the best on my team in that regard.
Yep, 100%. Well, look, Jacinta, last one from us. We don't want to keep you too long. I know it's a Saturday, so I want you to enjoy your day as well. But just last one from us. Obviously, like you said, the UFC is next door. It's right on track for you to make your debut and everything. Is there any point where you see maybe, because there are, I'll say for one, I'm a big fan of the other organizations that are coming up now, ones like PFL and Bellator, more specifically PFL, because I think they're doing a wonderful job in promoting and really doing a wonderful thing with the Challenger Series and everything else. Is that ever something you would consider, or is it mainly UFC focused?
UFC is definitely my end goal. It's been my goal since I started on this journey. Not to say that I wouldn't fight anywhere else along the way if an opportunity came up. UFC is always where I've seen myself end up, and I still feel like it's the most prestigious organization. You're not the world champion unless you're the UFC world champion.
Yep, 100%. Well, that's fair enough, and I look forward to seeing you there. I really do. I think you got amazing talent, and being so close to UFC is a wonderful thing, and obviously a landmark event tomorrow. So we wish you all the best for your fight, February 25th, UAE Warriors. We hope to see you on the next UFC card that comes to Australia. I'm sure you will be, and we wish you the very best of luck.
Beautiful. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks,
Jacinta.